lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames in the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox company changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Let's do this thing called the neutral ground. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. I like that. I like that a lot. Hey, here comes Drew Brees. Yes, thank you, number 9. Oh, so fine as red wine. Mr. Drew Brees. Hey, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser is going to join us in about 10, 12 minutes from now. Got a lot to discuss with Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. Right around 4:20. Stick around for that on this wide open Wednesday edition of the program. A scorcher out there. Those pop-up thunder showers were doing us right for like the first couple of weeks in June, huh? Seriously, we weren't getting into the 90s. Now it's, 92 degrees, feels like 100. That kind of gimmick going on lately. I think we had a feels like 101 the other day. No bueno. No, it just sucks. Anyway, agua, H2O water, stay hydrated. No, a scorcher out there. It really is. It's June in New Orleans. Coming up in about a week. What, about a week away? Something like that? July 2nd, I guess because February has an extra day. Yeah, it's a week from today. The midway point of 2025. The midway point of 2025. Next week, next Wednesday, we're on the downside of 2025. We're past the halfway point of 2025. No, a buddy of mine heard me saying that on the radio and was like, man, I got something much more significant than that. He didn't even say that. What he said was much more significant. He's like, bro, dude, we're closer to 2050 than 2000 in a week on July 2nd. July 2nd, we will be closer in time to the year 2050 than the year 2000. That one set me back a little bit. I stumbled backwards. That threw me for a loop. It threw me for a loop. It threw me for a loop. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what that means. Well, I kind of know what it means, but I don't understand why it means that. Thanks so much for joining us. Yeah, full slate. My goodness. The commute coming in from Laplace this morning, I-10 East from, Laplace, Baton Rouge, whatever. Points in between, Gonzales. No, it had to be brutal. Coming on to the island, I guess you could say, the Isle of Orleans. Coming across the spillway An 18-wheeler caught fire last night, like 9:30 at night, 10 at night, right before the I-310 merges in, right before Kenner. You know, another half mile up, and could have made it a lot more easy to navigate. So an 18-wheeler catches fire last night on the spillway, I-10 eastbound, coming into New Orleans, coming into Kenner and Metairie. Took 14 hours to clear it, a big rig that was just engulfed in flames. So they didn't clear it till like 11:30 this morning. Just a traffic nightmare coming in this morning into the city until like 11:30. No, that just sucks. That's the worst. No, that's why, I mean, I know folks like, Corey, why do you discuss this? Or you bring this up every few months. Highway 90, Chef Highway, through Slidell into Mississippi, South Slidell, White's Kitchen to like Pearlington, Mississippi, the West Pearl River, the little tributary bridges, but mainly that West Pearl River drawbridge shut down. The road shut down. You can't get into Pearlington, Mississippi. This is the Isle of Orleans. We're an island. We're an island. You can go south to get out. The West Bank Expressway, Highway 90 that way, basically I-49 eventually. That's one way out south. That's the only way out south. And you're eventually going west. I say south. You're going on the west bank of the river going west. Other ways to go west, River Road, which is just take you 5 hours to get to Baton Rouge. Literally just hugs the river. And then has parts where it's cut off. You have to go up and back over to get to it. You have Airline Highway. You have I-10 that you had an 18-wheeler coming into the city. Kenner to LaPlace, LaPlace to Kenner. So not too many ways out to the west. North, you've got the Causeway. And in the east, you have the Highway 11 bridge. You have the I-10. And you have the Wrigley's. And when the Wrigley's is shut down, past the Wrigley's going, from Slidell into Mississippi, St. Tammany into Mississippi, that's unacceptable. About 4,000 to 5,000 cars a day ride on that road when it was open. And when there's, an accident, a snafu, some problem on I-10 around Slidell, you can get off at Fremo and go south right down to there to White's Kitchen and hook a left and come into Mississippi that way. So you get some state troopers directing traffic. You can get a flow going. You can get tens of thousands of cars on that road when I-10 has problems. And that's huge. So to have that road out is unacceptable. And essentially coming into the city today, you didn't have the road out, but you had it at 10% of normal speed and capacity, 5% of normal speed and capacity. An 18-wheeler catching fire and just causing havoc for the morning commute coming into the city on the spillway from LaPlace to Kenner. Crazy. This just goes in the crazy waste of time. Not what we wanted, not what anyone wants. An Iranian woman who has lived in New Orleans for like 47 years, married with a kid, married some local guy. Gardening outside of her Lakeview home where she's lived for decades. Gets arrested, sent to like Hancock County, Mississippi first, and then to Basile, some facility where we've got a lot of illegals or migrant workers or folks believed to be illegal or whatever, but not criminals. I don't know. Is this woman a criminal? This just doesn't make sense to me. Just total waste of time and money and effort. The River District. We've been talking about this, the Top Golf at the River District. I get Michael Hecht on every Friday. We'll discuss it this Friday. I told Michael months ago, Michael, very skeptical that Top Golf ever gets going. Very, very skeptical that Top Golf ever gets going. Because time kills deals. Time kills deals. The longer you wait, the better you're increasing the chance that it does not happen. No, the needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many. A few dozen selfish neighbors that live down there in like what was the Irish Channel. Now it's got a nicer name, the Lower Garden District. It's the Irish Channel, Lower Garden District, whatever you want to call it. It's a nice neighborhood. I've had friends that have lived in that neighborhood, that live in that neighborhood. I like it. Very eclectic, convenient, easy to get to everything in New Orleans. But it's right by downtown. It's right on the river. It's right by the Crescent City Connection. It's right by the convention center. It's right near St. Charles Avenue. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Don't want to top golf, like getting into nitpicky stuff on the multi-billion-dollar river district. So no, the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many, and Top Golf says the neighborhood lawsuit against the river district and indirectly Top Golf played a part in them canceling their $60 million project. So congrats to those folks. A few dozen selfish neighbors maybe celebrating, but it's a loss for all of New Orleans, including the metro area. And you're like, Corey, a driving range? It's $60 million investment, hundreds of employees, entertainment, downtown for the tourists and more. I don't know. The needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many. Like nearly 80-year-old Sidney Torres III. I don't know if I'm in St. Bernard. I'm not saying he's not St. Bernard resident. He is. He's entrenched in St. Bernard. So was my dad's cousin, Fred Segure, as St. Bernard as it gets, helped develop that parish. No, but Sidney Torres III, nearly 80 years old, bashing the Clean Port Project for St. Bernard, just relentlessly bashing it, knows his facts and details, not all the facts and details. He's welcome to call the program anytime. I need to get Sidney Torres III on, the old man, the nearly 80-year-old who lives down in St. Bernard that's, the needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many, selfish, not civic-minded, not for the betterment of the parish, crazy. 7 o'clock tonight, the NBA draft. Pels selecting 7th and 23rd. They traded fan favorite C.J. McCollum. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser joins us next on the program. Don't go anywhere, New Orleans.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Welcome back, Crescent City. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser is with us as well on the program this afternoon. How you doing, Billy?
I'm doing good, my friend. Good to be with you.
Yeah, a pleasure. Man, I often talk, and we got a mayor's race in New Orleans. I talk about litter and trash, and New Orleans, one of the filthiest cities in America. Our goal should be one of the cleanest. The state gets pretty dirty. You have been very vocal about it as lieutenant governor, and tourism and things that your office handles. You've been talking about a cleaner state and picking up trash and making people proud of how clean it is instead of the opposite. Tell us about that initiative. And I can't believe the governor, he vetoed that balloon bill, huh?
Yeah, really no reason that I can think of. We had no opposition to it. And we've had pelicans, turtles, even baby cattle that have got tangled up and died because of these balloons that are released. You never know where they're coming down. We've had power outages from them, but they get caught up in streams and drainage and clog up drainage with flooding.
Yep.
So we ask people, if you want to celebrate with balloons, pop them and dispose of them properly. And a bill to ensure that, to make it a law. It's littering if you release them. It's common sense that it's littering, but we wanted a law just to say it absolutely is littering, so don't release them. Just another tool in our toolbox to clean up Louisiana. We've made great progress. When we took it over, we had about 50 groups that year cleaning up Louisiana, doing Love the Boot Week. This year, over 1,400 groups in all 64 parishes, hundreds of schools, 14 universities. It's become a movement on cleaning up Louisiana. So we're going to keep our foot on the gas until we don't have a litter problem. We've got new booklets we're providing to the schools to teach the kid in schools. There's a new video if you go to get your driving test that you watch, and there's actually questions on the driver's license test about litter. The answers are in that video. So we're attacking it from all angles. And now our park rangers can write litter tickets outside the parks. So we'll be looking at some of these high litter areas, putting cameras out, catching people littering, and hopefully getting them a ticket. You're 80% less likely to ever litter again if you pick up litter for a day or you get a ticket for littering. So we want to make sure we focus in on that and clean up our state.
Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser is with us. Hey, Billy, I was talking about tourism. It's summertime. What is the Louisiana seafood cook-offs going down in Slidell this Friday night?
Yeah, it's a great event. Tickets are $50. You get to try the food of all the North Shore restaurants and watch those 12 chefs from around the state compete on a timer to put together their best seafood dish. We will pick the king or queen of seafood that night, and that person will compete in August at the New Orleans Convention Center during the restaurant show against 14 chefs from around the country to pick the king or queen of American seafood and take that championship back to their state. We hope to keep it in Louisiana. Last year, Massachusetts won it. But we're hoping to Friday night to pick that special chef that can keep the crown in Louisiana this year.
And where is it again in Slidell Friday evening?
It's at the Slidell Center there, right when you come over the lake.
The Harbor Center, right there.
Harbor Center, yeah.
Okay.
And you can go to louisianaseafood.com and click on Seafood Cook-Off if you want to buy tickets, or you can get them at the door.
Yep.
And it's going to be a great event. I think we're getting close to sold out, but I know they have a few tickets left, and it's going to be a great night to celebrate Louisiana seafood.
Yep, no doubt. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser's with us for a few more minutes. Hey, speaking of, festivals and entertainment, Travers and Fletcher Mackel breaking the story. Fletcher says it's going to be announced within the next week or so. He says LIV Golf is coming to New Orleans and City Park South Golf Course next June or July, in between the U.S. and British Open.
Yeah, I know the governors. I'll be there. They're planning a press conference to discuss it all. I believe it's July 7th is the press conference. Yeah, that's going to be a great event that will bring a whole new clientele. People, that's a golf tournament where you don't have to be quiet. And it's more of a festive. I think it fits more within the party atmosphere of Louisiana. It's a perfect place for one of those tournaments. And it'll be great for local vendors. It'll bring a lot of people here and a lot of great positive, not only for New Orleans, but for City Park, that beautiful park, and should get a lot of improvements to that park in hosting this event. I took Greg Norman around when he came to town to look at City Park. He also looked at English Turn, and he selected that park and thought it was the perfect place to host one of these tournaments. So, that's going to be an exciting announcement coming next week.
Yeah, I like hearing that, and I like hearing money being invested into the park and the City Park South Golf Course. Speaking of parks, I want to talk to you about state parks. That's a big part of your agenda as Lieutenant Governor. Real quick, Billy, I mentioned this to you before, and I know it's sort of a out of left field type of thing. The bluffs on Thompson Creek, that Arnold Palmer golf course that's been abandoned for about 3 years now, maybe 4 years. They had talks with the owner, with the Palmer company coming in. It's going to cost millions of dollars to revive it. But considering who Arnold Palmer was, the fact that he was very hands-on designing it, the fact that it's on Thompson Creek, it's a beautiful part of the Tunica Hills there right outside of St. Francisville. It seems like maybe getting with that owner and maybe buying it from him or working with him, something where that becomes a state park, and Louisiana has this Arnold Palmer golf course, locked in forever.
I'm very jealous of the Alabama. They've got an incredible funding source that was set up by a trust fund.
Yeah, the school teachers.
Years ago.
Yeah, the school teachers, the Robert Trent Jones Trail.
Yeah, so we've tried to revitalize the Louisiana Golf Trail through the private-public partnerships at the state parks, and we need more people that want to invest, build cabins, maybe an RV lazy river. If we can get some of these investments in the park and share the revenues from putting up the land and letting people develop it wisely to keep in with our mission of the state parks, but add some additional cabins, some glamping sites, maybe a couple RV lazy river, like they have those things, and give us a percentage of the income. That money can be kept, and that's reoccurring money every year. And we can use that money for culture, recreation, and tourism. So if we can start creating that fund, one, I believe they'll see a day when I won't need tax dollars to run our parks. But we could use that money to invest in future good things like what you're talking about. It's very difficult. I've got tens of $millions of backlog of repairs and maintenance at state parks, still from when Bobby Jindal swept all the money from the state parks. And it's a fight every year to get a little money to do some repairs. That's why I'm trying to do the private-public partnership. So it's very difficult, to take on something like that without additional funding. One of the things, having you mentioned that, would be to look at the local hotel motel tax that the local tourism office get. Many of these tourism offices have millions of dollars in reserve, and that money's reoccurring every year. So maybe, and I'll look into that, check in with the local tourism office to see if they could dedicate some funds to help and make that project a cash flow to make it worthwhile. But I think many of our tourism organizations around the state need to start looking at not just spending money to advertise to bring tourists to the area, but what can they do to invest into bringing new opportunities to their area. I know Lake Charles put up some money for that beautiful riverfront and some of the development there, partnering with the city. So I think we got to start thinking outside the box. New Orleans and company, the same thing. I'd like to see them invest some more money into bringing the French Quarter up to where it needs to be. Now, we've got to get that quarter into a management system where the people that really care about it are managing it, because it's hard to give the city money for anything and see it go to the right thing. So, but those are all things that we need to do to really up our game to make Louisiana and New Orleans the best it can be, to get the most tourist opportunities we can here.
Billy, we only got about 45 seconds or so. You kind of answered maybe my last question towards the tail end of that answer. The French Quarter businesses, the residents, people want Ivy Waste to stay there. Now, here's the deal. Ivy Waste or not, just seems like the right thing to do is the present trash hauler, XYZ, stays there till December like their contract calls for. And in the next few weeks, you put out to bid January 2026 and on, and it's up for grabs. But just to hand it over to Henry Consulting, I don't quite get that.
Henry is not even in the trash business. Why the hell are we giving a contract to a guy? Third party it. The third party money could go to the citizens of New Orleans. It's a ripoff. It's a crooked deal. And just like they gave him Six Flags and the janitorial contract at the airport, why are we dumping money? Is it because of the relationship with Oliver Thomas? What is the mayor getting out of this that she's pushing this thing when everybody's happy with Ivy Waste? I don't get it. If people aren't outraged over this, it's crazy.
People are outraged over it, and the council's trying to do something. They have these lawsuits now with a restaurant owner and a citizen. Just seems like the easiest thing to do, the right thing to do is Ivy Waste till December and then rebid. Maybe Henry Consulting wins it. Maybe Ivy Waste does. Maybe it's River Parish Disposal, but that seems like the fair thing to do.
Yeah.
What's best for the citizens?
This city, morally, physically, by traveling all over the world.
Yep.
In the last year in office, you're not even going to be here. What are you going to sell? It's absolutely, she's just traveling on the city's nickel.
Yep.
She's an embarrassment, and I'm embarrassed for her in the way this city's been handled. And I just hope we can survive until she's out of office.
Billy Nungesser, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend.
Talk to you soon. That's Billy Nungesser, Lieutenant
Ladies
Governor.
and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint. That's supply.
Wow. Ouch. My goodness. Billy Nungesser not holding back at all. On Troy Henry, doesn't own a trash company. Why does he get the trash contract? Doesn't own a janitorial service. Why is he cleaning up the airport? Isn't a developer? Why is he developing Six Flags? It's like, wow. Ouch. And then the mayor, just hope we can make it till January. Just ripping the mayor. And then, man, just not holding back, saying exactly what he thinks. I respect that. He's 110% right on the mayor. Now, Troy Henry, I don't, the subcontractor thing. I mean, maybe there should be a law where you actually have to be in that business to win the contract to do that work for the city or the state, but there isn't. So you, me, anyone can bid on this stuff. And I guess you have to have a certain amount of insurance and things of that nature. And you have to have a plan. And I'm going to sub it out to Richards. But damn. Just, I mean, relentless. And you got to respect it. No, I'm going to get Troy Henry on the program. I reached out to Troy Henry today. I told you he'd been out of town the last few weeks. He may still be out of town. I was like, are you back? And he hadn't responded yet, but he will. He always does. Troy Henry doesn't try to hide from me or anything. I'll get him on the show, and of course I'll give him a total fair shake. I want Troy Henry on the program to find out about the trash and what's he going to do and how you're going to keep up with Ivy and what compels you to take it to a higher level if it's not part of the contract, on and on and on and on. And then Six Flags development. And then what Billy Nungesser said about subcontractors and the like, and just see how he responds. But Troy Henry's been on this program probably 4 or 5 times, mostly talking about Six Flags. Yeah, Billy Nungesser, not holding back on Troy Henry, not holding back on Mayor LaToya Cantrell. After 6 o'clock, you can check all that out. I'm going to post those clips on my Twitter, at Corey Johnson on Twitter. But after 6 o'clock, you can check out the program on YouTube. Right now, it's live on YouTube. After 6, kind of goes into that podcast form, and you can check out the program. You can check out Billy Nungesser on Troy Henry, Billy Nungesser on Mayor LaToya Cantrell, and her travel. Old Junket Cantrell. Yeah, the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. As a matter of fact, go to YouTube right now. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Corey spelled Kaare. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It don't cost nothing. It's a freebie. It's a freebie. Fired up about this. Went there today for lunch. I'll be talking about this place a lot. I've talked about this place in the past just out of honest conversation because it is clearly one of Metro New Orleans' finest restaurants without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I'll tell you, many South Shore residents that like to dine out, a lot of you folks that live in Uptown or Old Metairie or wherever and have wherewithal and dine out, Mid-City, Lakeview, a lot of you are unaware of this restaurant, or you've sort of heard the name, but haven't ever even thought about going. It's Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. And yes, it's one of Metro New Orleans' finest restaurants without a doubt. An extensive menu that is fantastic. So many great things. Yeah, they're in Mandeville right off the causeway, essentially right across the street from Trey Yen. I often talk about Trey Yen. I've been doing it for decades. I've been going to Trey Yen for 40 years. Right across the causeway, immediately to your left, Trey Yen. Right across the causeway, immediately on your right behind the Shell station by Aquistapace, the grocery store in Mandeville. Gallagher's 527. I guess it's 527 East Causeway approach. They've got lunch Tuesday through Friday, where I was earlier today, and dinner Tuesday through Saturday night. They're closed on Sunday and Monday. Closed on Sunday and Monday. That's all you really need to remember. No, chef-driven. Pat Gallagher's been doing this for half a century. Chef-driven delicacies. Like today, for instance, I started with a cup of gumbo. And it is an absolutely fantastic seafood gumbo. If you love New Orleans seafood gumbo, you will absolutely love Gallagher's 527 seafood gumbo. I mean, I'm a native New Orleanian. I'm 25% Cajun. I love seafood. I love gumbo. Gumbo might be the number one dish. Someone said that's all you can have is gumbo, one item. And you have to choose one item. Gumbo might be the one I would choose. The seafood gumbo is outstanding, as good as it gets at Gallagher's. I got a cup to start today. Then they have the crab meat St. Francis, the LaRuth recipe, the original recipe from LaRuth's on the West Bank. Legendary chef. Now, the crab meat St. Francis is to die for. It's just outstanding, delicious. As good a crab meat dish as you'll find anywhere, as good as it gets. Such a great appetizer, a must. And if you're going with like 4, 6 people, 8 people, a big group, get 2 or 3 crab meat St. Francis appetizers. And then I got the lunch shish kebab. 4 big chunks of filet with peppers and onions and green beans, sizzling in butter. Just sizzling in butter. Incredibly tasty. So good. Now, Pat Gallagher knows what he's doing. Sizzling in butter, worked with legendary Ruth Fertel. Opened the Winner's Circle 40 years ago in Folsom and then in Covington. No, those 3 things that I started with today for lunch, trust me, you go there, you get the gumbo, you get the crab meat St. Francis, you get the shish kebab, you're going to be like, wow. But there's so much more. Pompano, redfish, tuna. Gulffish almondine, like black drum or speckled trout. pecan-crusted catfish meuniere, bacon-wrapped shrimp, scallops. I mean, I can go on and on. The menu is extensive. Turtle soup as well as the gumbo. I mentioned steaks like the filet, ribeye, prime New York strip, black Angus ribeye. They've got lamb chops, 4 double-cut lamb chops in this oval plate, sizzling in butter. Just fantastic. Colorado lamb chops, outstanding. If you live on the South Shore and you're just hearing about Gallagher's 527, I'm telling you, one of the finest restaurants in the metro, easily worth taking the trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527. If you live on the South Shore, you've heard about it. You've heard people talking about it like I'm talking about it. You've never been. What are you waiting for? Closed on Sunday and Monday, lunch Tuesday through Friday, dinner Tuesday through Saturday night. As fine a restaurant as it gets. I mean, oh man, seafood mirliton, sweet potato casserole. Yeah, I can go on and on and on. I've had all these dishes. The oysters wrapped in bacon, flash fried with the Meuniere sauce on the side. That appetizer. Wow. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Glad they've come on board the program. Easy to talk about the best. Easy to talk about great. Not good, not very good, great, outstanding. You won't be disappointed. No, I mean, a guy sent me a photo, a friend of mine about a year ago, sent me a photo of 4 lamb chops sizzling in butter, just the picture. I could tell they were sizzling in butter. I was like, I go, where is that? He's like, Gallagher's 527. We sent each other food photos. I'm like, Gallagher's 527. I'm like, in Mandeville? I'd heard of it. And I had known Pat Gallagher, knew who he was. I was like, that looks so damn good. Within about a week or 10 days, I was at Gallagher's for lunch. Within about a week to 10 days after that, I was back at Gallagher's for lunch. About a month later, my mom, my brother in from London, my brother who lives in New Orleans, my sister who lives in New Orleans, we're at Gallagher's for dinner in Mandeville. And I've probably been 10 times in the last year. It's one of my favorite restaurants right away. First time I went. So good. And there's nothing better than that. I love a restaurant where everything on the menu is good. It's right up your alley. New Orleans food, great seafood. Everything's good. Wide open Wednesday, a scorcher out there. Stay hydrated. Yeah, lots of agua. Billy Nungesser just joined us, Lieutenant Governor. Ripping Troy Henry and the trash contract and the mayor, ripping the mayor. Just not holding back a second. River District, Top Golf, a no-go. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, time kills deals. And the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. It's like old man Sidney Torres III down in Chalmette. He's like nearly 80. He's just been relentless for like a year and a half about the port, the container facility. Just he's against it. And you're at Rocky and Carlos, you bump into him at the bank. He just goes off on it. It's just been this hell-bent campaign by Sidney Torres III and a handful of other Chalmatians just attacking this project. It's just like, enough, you know? How about some positive things that St. Bernard's getting? How about St. Bernard Parish using it as leverage to better the parish? You know, I had, who was the councilman? Ryan Randall on about a month ago. And I was like, it's unbelievable. This clean container terminal, there's this big move against it. Yet if they wanted to, build a new cracker unit and expand a refinery down there that pollutes, everybody would be all on board. Yeah, we just expanded one of the refineries. So it proves my point. Something that causes cancer, that's dirty, that's 75 jobs, all for it. The container terminal, hundreds of jobs, thousands of indirect jobs. A $1 billion road to get from Violet to I-510. Finally, St. Bernard getting an evacuation route. And there's all this negative spin. It's mind-blowing. No, it is this mentality of needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. I'm connected. I have my political friends, got some money. I'm an attorney. I've seen this too many times in New Orleans. No, it's selfish. Sidney Torres III, selfish.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. Yeah, I do not let that lake deter me from getting some of the best Chinese food in the region, in the country, Trey Yen. I do not let that lake, as a South Shore boy, deter me from going to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville because it's that good. I kind of like it, to be honest with you. Like I say, 25 minutes from Lakeside Mall, both of those places. You get on the causeway, you get in the right lane, you set your cruise control at like 67, 68 miles an hour, and you just stay in the right lane and just pass somebody if you have to that's going under the speed limit, and don't get out of the 60s in the mile per hour, and you won't get pulled over by the, causeway cops, and you just stay in the right lane, and takes about 23 minutes to cross the bridge. Like 23 minutes. And then you drive like another 90 seconds and you're in the Trey Yen parking lot, or like another 90 seconds and you're at Gallagher's 527. I'm always mentioning like the South Shore point of view. You North Shore folks, your perspective would be like at the foot of the causeway, near the causeway on the North Shore in Mandeville. So everybody knows where these places are. No, I traverse the lake, for Trey Yan about once a week, 3 times a month. 3 times a month. Gallagher's 527 at least twice a month. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. A scorcher out there. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. Holy smokes, man. Billy Nungesser joined us last hour. We talked about the Louisiana Seafood Cookout in Slidell. We talked about LIV Golf. He says a July 7th press conference. So, a week from Monday? About a week and a half away. They're going to announce this LIV golf tournament. We talked about some state parks. I mentioned the Bluffs Golf Course in St. Francisville, an Arnold Palmer gem, like one of Arnold Palmer's best designs in the country, on an incredible bluff over Thompson Creek in St. Francisville, part of the Tunica Hills. Just beautiful. You think you're in North Carolina, not St. Francisville, north of Baton Rouge. No, and the course has gone under different ownership, and it's been closed for like 3 or 4 years. It's basically totaled. Like the layout's there, the tee boxes where they're supposed to, all that stuff's there, but it needs to be all ripped up, all grass removed, and then dirt brought in and drainage repaired and green complexes rebuilt and sand traps. I mean, it's probably a $5 to $10 million project, easy. Especially to get back to elite Arnold Palmer type standard, which it once was. A golf course where anyone from around the country could come into this state and play it, and they'd be like, wow, that was a good golf course. The quality of the course, the quality of the greens, where it was, the surroundings, all of it. No, it's where Audubon painted birds, all of that. They have a lodge there where you can spend the night. And our state doesn't have enough money. Baton Rouge doesn't have enough money in that metro to keep that going. I mean, you got Baton Rouge Country Club. They do well. You've got the University Club. They do well. You've got Country Club of Louisiana. They do well. It's amazing the amount of money in Baton Rouge. The Bluffs, 35 minutes north of the city, it doesn't do so well. It's the footprint's not big enough. The money's not big enough. And it's a shame, because it has the potential to be elite. Talked about Billy Nungesser, the state taking over that potentially, that kind of thing. And then I brought up the trash and the trash contract in the French Quarter. And Billy Nungesser, Lieutenant Governor, just ripped Troy Henry. Why has he got a trash contract? We don't have a trash truck or own a company. Why has he got the janitorial service contract at the airport when he doesn't have a janitorial service? Why has he got Six Flags when he's not a developer? Is it Oliver Thomas on the council? Is it the mayor? I mean, just Billy Nungesser going at it. And then on the mayor, just ripping LaToya Cantrell. Ripping Troy Henry and ripping LaToya Cantrell, Louisiana Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. Yeah, you can check that out a little after 6. Just go to YouTube, pull up today's program about 25 minutes in. Well, let's see. Billy came on at it was about 25 minutes into the feed. About 25 minutes into the feed. Right at the end of our conversation. Just ripping Troy Henry and really ripping the mayor. The travel. Junket Cantrell. It's a scorcher. 92 degrees feels like 100. Total maintenance is there for you. You just got to remember them, because chances are, I don't know, I think I'm going to get through the summer just fine. No AC problems. Not going to need total maintenance to come to my house and fix anything. But somebody watching or listening, and I don't believe in jinxes, somebody watching or listening is going to have air conditioning problems. It could be today, this weekend, next week, next month. It's going to be during this scorcher of a summer we're having, or a day like today. If your AC is making a funny noise or not blowing as cold as you think it should, or worse, not working at all, in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, total maintenance is there. tm-ac.com. If you need air conditioning help, weekday, weekend, overnight, holiday, whenever, think total maintenance. tm-ac.com. Air conditioning help in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Total maintenance. TM-AC.com. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. 5 o'clock power hour, minutes away. 7 o'clock tonight, the NBA draft. First round, at least the Pels select 7th and 23rd overall. Yesterday, they traded fan favorite guard C.J. McCollum, gone. 7 o'clock tonight, the NBA draft. The Pels have the 7th overall pick, the 23rd. Will they group them together, move up in the draft? Will they stay where they are and select 7th and 23rd? Will they work some other kind of trade? It's Joe Dumars' team, the North Louisiana native, the former Detroit Piston. Had been working in the NBA front office in New York, now running the Pelicans organization. We'll see what Joe Dumars can do. Some folks say, you need a young coach that relates or GM that relates to today's players, today's league. Joe Dumars is yesteryear. He's yesterday. He's old school. Now, that's not going to fly in 2025. We'll see. I mean, if someone asks me, is Joe Dumars a winner or a loser? I'm going to tell you Joe Dumars is a winner. Clearly a winner. A tenacious competitor, was a great NBA player. As an executive, helped Detroit win a championship. I don't know, like Jim Finks would say, long in the tooth. He's north of 60. We'll see. What's that, Blue Boy? You love Joe Dumars. You love those Piston teams, except for Bill Laimbeer. You don't like Bill Laimbeer. Wow, Blue Boy. What else? Give me $5? Wait, slow down, buddy. 5 what? Oh, 5 o'clock power hour next. Folks should stick around. Blue Boy, thanks.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint. Supply.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. And it's the 5 o'clock call. And it's New Orleans, one of the great cities of the world, one of the best places to live in the world. Isn't that amazing? Think about the dysfunction. I was with a buddy of mine today at lunch at Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Fantastic. If you haven't been, you're missing out. No, I was talking to him today. He's down on New Orleans, the dysfunction of the city. It's right outside the city in Old Metairie. He's in the city all the time. He loves the city. Now, a lot of us have a love-hate. We hate the dysfunction. We hate the corruption. We hate the, crooked politicians, inept politicians. We hate the fact that our infrastructure stinks. Our education system isn't where it needs to be. Crime is down, but we got to stay on top of that. We don't have a big economy. We need young college graduates moving here. No, a lot of stuff bums you out. But then when you think about, kind of a bigger, wider perspective, how New Orleans is like this European masterpiece in America. It's a city just full of culture, where a lot of America is cultureless and getting worse and worse all the time. I mean, like Austin, Texas, stay weird. It's like, okay, A, you were never weird, and B, you're a booming metropolis. I love your economy. I want your economy. I don't want your traffic. I don't want your generic growth anywhere, USA, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, Nashville. I mean, people that live in Austin and Nashville like their entire lives, they're like, city has lost its identity. I got a buddy of mine. He went to Ole Miss, New Orleans native, moved to Denver, like right out of college, like 23, 24 years old, was there for like till he was like in his 40s. And then he went to Dallas for like 8 years or something like that. And Dallas, he was just like, so much money, but so big and just like a mess, like, because there's no culture. It's not like big like Chicago, where there's culture and neighborhoods, outside of a few little parts of Dallas, Deep Ellum, by SMU, university section over there. It's not a lot of old stuff, the historic stuff. It's tons of money. There's a lot of positives, just generic and cultureless. Denver, he was there before the explosive growth. Like now, he's like, wouldn't want to live in Denver. Another guy I know went from Denver to Sarasota, Florida, because he's like, Denver is chaos. It went from, under 2 million in the metro to like north of 3 million in the metro. just gigantic and just too much growth, too crowded, too congested. So there's one side of me that we want all that. I mean, Texas, fastest growing state in the region the last half century, the South, fastest growing region in the country. Texas, fastest growing state in the country the last half century. The South, the fastest growing region in the country the last half century. No, we missed the boat. We missed the rocket ship. But also, New Orleans has easy to get around. We have traffic and congestion. I mean, look at Metairie I-10 right now. You're sitting in it, some of you. But we also know how to get around and back door and back road and all that. It's easy to get around, especially if you plan ahead. You don't have to be, at Cleary and Vets on a Friday at 4:30. You're in pretty good shape. There's a ton of culture. There's so many different race, religions, creeds, ethnic groups that are all very proud. I mean, got so many Italian friends, Black friends, Jewish friends, Irish, German, Vietnamese. I mean, it's a melting pot. It's a gumbo in this town. It's incredible. And yet we're like a little southern city. We're in the deep South. Yet we're on an island. We're by ourselves. The Gulf is south of us, essentially. We're not really part of the South. In some ways, we're not part of Louisiana. It's a fantastic city. The music, the talent of people like in the arts, like music and artists and sculptors and people with talent and skills, just innate, born that way. It's unprecedented. We know how to drag it out of people and have them put it on the canvas or whatever it might be. The musicians in this town. It's the greatest music city in the world. It's the modern world music capital. Every single modern music genre, either the major ones either directly come from New Orleans or 90%, 80% New Orleans influence or some New Orleans influence on everything, all modern music genres. There's no city that has their own theme music. We've got 5 different variations. It could be jazz. It could be Zydeco. It could be blues. It could be R&B. It could be rap. I mean, that's New Orleans. You'll know it's New Orleans when you hear it. There's no music of Phoenix. That's the music of Phoenix there for sure, man. Oh, yeah, I'm hearing that tune. That's definitely the music of Portland. No, there's none of that. Did I mention our food? I mean, went off on Gallagher's 527 last hour. They're a new sponsor on the program, a new client. And I'm picky about it. I'll tell you the truth. I say no to a lot of folks. Just it's not the right fit or, there's a conflict. I already have that, and the thing that's a conflict, I have the best. So no, it's talking about Gallagher's, Trey Yen. I mean, these best Chinese in America, maybe. Gallagher's is one of the finest restaurants in New Orleans, and New Orleans is one of the finest restaurant cities in the world. Food, where you can eat in this city, my God, it's just first class. It's top notch. It's someone that loves, looking forward to lunch, looking forward to dinner, great meal with friends and family, people coming together over a meal. Relax, conversation. I love business deal. Instead of meeting at the office, let's meet for lunch. Knock out 2 birds with one stone. We'll knock out this business deal and we'll enjoy a great meal together. Something memorable. No, it's just New Orleans is different. Our history, the architecture, it's just different. A lot of things to improve. Yes. Lots of problems, no doubt. Insane dysfunction. Yes. Off the charts. Unacceptable. With all of that, with all that crap and garbage and minutia and just mess, New Orleans is still one of the greatest places to live in the world. It's a pretty amazing place. We're lucky. I'm lucky to be able to do what I've been doing for 30 plus years, talk on the radio and on television and give my opinion. And there's no suits upstairs stifling what I have to say. No one telling me don't say that. Just wide open, like Wide Open Wednesday. Give opinions, say whatever I want to say. But the great thing is, with full-blown respect and understanding the responsibility of the microphone and the camera. not just going off to incite or talk a bunch of BS or crap or unprepared or talking about things I don't know. Consistent. Say something on Monday, that's how I'm going to feel Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, next week, next month. Not going to contradict myself. But if I'm proven wrong, I'm open-minded and willing to learn and want to hear alternative views, especially from people that know what they're talking about and that don't have some warped agenda. So no, I'm lucky to do this in the city I was born and raised in New Orleans. I was talking to a guy like a week ago. You have any regrets? Could have gone somewhere else, whatever. I was like, I can think of 4 places that were offered opportunities in radio and talk radio: Houston, Denver, Nashville, and Atlanta. And did not take any of those 4 opportunities, obviously. Well, I don't know, I could have, I guess, and come back. But no, always had something working in New Orleans. Fortunate to have been able to, do this for as long as I have. And in radio and television, there's some people in this market that make some really, really good money. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 a year in radio and television in this market. Maybe 3, 4, 5 people tops. I do better than probably like 90% of everybody else. I'm not in that 400,000 a year, those 3, 4, 5 people in radio and television in this market. But I'm in the next group. I'm whatever that group is. So I'm lucky. I do okay. I do okay. And it's what I get to do what I want, and it's in my city. So no, pretty fortunate. Hey, speaking of New Orleans and our city, Young's Dry Cleaning. I mean, when I say like a New Orleans institution, I mean it. They've been around since 1940, before the United States got into World War II. 85 years of excellence. No, they pride themselves in being the best. Dale and his brother Don, they're 4th generation at Young's. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, manless locker locations. You want to experience the best dry cleaner? Young'sDryCleaning.com. I've been going to Young's for 30 plus years. Young'sDryCleaning.com. My mom's been going to Young's for like north of half a century. By the way, not to belabor the point, but how fortunate I am in New Orleans doing what I want to do. Young's Dry Cleaning, they've been a sponsor, a client, a sponsor of this show, what I do, since the late 1990s. For over a quarter century, for north of 25 years. I can promise you, in all of radio, the history of this medium in the United States of America, there are just a handful of people, and I'm happy to be in that number with Young's, that have been talking about an advertiser for over 25 years straight. Young'sDryCleaning.com. No, Dale and Don, I appreciate it. Coming right back, New Orleans. Those guys are loyal.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day.
by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Yeah, you're right. Welcome back. 5 o'clock power hour on a wide open Wednesday. Corey Johnson with you. A scorcher out there. Stay hydrated. Lots of agua. I'm going into bottle number 2 on the Buddy Deliberto Total Maintenance Studio set. No, it's hot out there. The River District's Top Golf, the triple-decker driving range, similar to the 504 Golf that has opened right there on, what is that, Broad and Howard Avenue, right on the I-10, right on the Pontchartrain Expressway right there. Pretty much a duplication of that. But at the River District, now the Top Golf, and at least the spot it was proposed is a no-go. Now, a few things. First off, time kills deals. Time kills deals. If there wouldn't have been the neighborhood, a few squeaky wheels in that, call it the Lower Garden District, whatever, the old Irish Channel neighborhood, you didn't have a few squeaky wheels with time and money and law degrees and the like suing, the Top Golf would probably be open right now or near completion. Instead, it's a no-go. And it's $60 million. And it's hundreds of construction jobs. And it's hundreds of employees. And it's part of the River District. But this is a typical example of the needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many. We go against common sense in Metro New Orleans. People with their little fiefdoms, they've got political connections. Like I said, they have money, family money, happen to have a law degree or a lawyer that works for free for the cause, and they go to war. And they win a lot. I mean, I'll never forget the Habana Outpost, the restaurant that is open now on Rampart and Esplanade. That old gas station and the house that was behind it. That gas station literally was abandoned and blighted for 40 years. Rampart and Esplanade, one of the main corners to enter the French Quarter. I mean, it's sinful. The other main corner, Rampart and Canal, just a lot with concrete and crap in it from the Hard Rock Hotel collapse. That's sinful that that's not developed. But you have these jerks, these New Orleanians that live on Esplanade, right behind the Habana Outpost. And they're, family money, literally have law degrees, and have time on their hands. So Habana Outpost is just them coming out. They put their signs up, no Habana Outpost, the red circle with the line through it. They fought Sean Meenan for over a decade on this project, 10 years. But Sean Meenan was an original investor in Etsy, so he's got a lot of money. He's got some wherewithal. He's a former Golden Gloves champion, so he knows how to fight and win. And he fell in love with New Orleans. He's got a Habana Outpost in Brooklyn, one in California, I think one in like Dubai. He wanted to build one on that corner, and he did. It took like 12 years, over a decade, because these jerks on Esplanade that still live there in their under-assessed houses. Those houses are worth a few $1,000,000 each, not 400 grand you're paying taxes on or whatever it is. No, these loud mouths with their wherewithal and money, family money, law degree, they just stifled this guy, Sean Meenan, for a decade. But because he's the winner, he's the Golden Glove champs, he has wherewithal, and he's a winner, not a loser like them. He won ultimately. And the restaurant's there. And in the window, they have a sign, no Habana Outpost with the red circle and the line through it, that these jerk neighbors behind him had up for years. For years. Now, think about this. That gas station, it was an Exxon. It shut down like in the Jimmy Carter administration. I'm not kidding you, like late 70s. So it had been closed for over 40 years. How many other people you think came in and bought that property, leased that property, had agreed to terms to take it over, and those jerks, these folks with the wherewithal, the money, the law degrees, the family money, time on their hands, stifled those projects where these other investors after 6 months or a year said, the hell with this. I got 20 grand in this. It's going nowhere. I got to grease this politician. This person's against me. I'm walking from this project. How many people do you think they defeated by paying off their political friends with their BS lawsuits, all that nonsense? I bet you it was a lot of people over 40 years, a lot of people. Then they ran into one they couldn't beat, Sean Meenan, and the Habana Outpost is there. And if you don't like it, sell your house and move. No, those are selfish people. Those are people that think they're out for the best of New Orleans. They want blight. They don't want the Rampart Esplanade corner of the French Quarter, an entrance to the quarter, developed. And if you go by there, it looks great. It's a great development. No, these people are idiots. They're selfish. They're destructive. They're dangerous. I mean, I saw it with that Kupperman guy and then the other young attorney that lived in that Lengsfeld loft building, that lime green, like 4-story building, roughly in the warehouse district on the corner. They were supposed to build like a tower. And these guys were complaining like it would wreck their view from their apartment. And they're both lawyers, so they sued. And they bankrupted about 3 companies, and there's still not a tower built on that site. And since then, they've sold their lofts for like double the value to some of the future developers that have gone bankrupt. So these 2 jerk attorneys that think they're smart, the old man I mentioned and the younger kid, both owning apartments in the Lengsfeld lofts, sued over years, stopping development, which would have been, thousands of jobs, hundreds of construction jobs, a lot of indirect jobs, development around it, dozens of apartments, taxes for the city. No, just selfish people that want what they want. It's wrecking my view. It's like, dude, you live in an industrial area. You live next to an open lot that inevitably will be developed. But because you're a lawyer and know the law enough to, not because you're right, because you know the law enough to bog it down where people will run, that sucks. Those people suck. Those people suck. And the selfish folks on Esplanade that tried to stifle the Habana Outpost, they suck. They're the worst of New Orleans. These handful of folks that live in the Irish Channel, the Lower Garden District, that were against the Top Golf, they suck. They're selfish. They're worried about themselves, not the neighborhood's integrity. These folks in the Bywater, in the Marigny, they don't want any condo towers on the Mississippi River waterfront in the city limits. No, they're selfish. It's going to put shade on my house at some times during the day. It's going to lower my value of my home. No, it's going to increase the value of your home. Is it going to change the neighborhood? Of course it is. There's going to be condo towers on the riverfront. Guess what life's all about? Dealing with change. Change is constant. The only thing that always is happening all the time, every second, is change. Get used to it. Embrace it. It's going to better the neighborhood, and it betters it for everybody, not just you living in the neighborhood. No, this want to keep it like it is, the broken dysfunction. It's sad. Want to keep the blight. Don't want the condo towers on the river in New Orleans. I mean, we got a lake and a river, something cities would cut off their arm for. And we got maybe 2,000 people out of 1.2 million that live on the water? Sidney Torres III, the old man, nearly 80 in St. Bernard, Mr. Chalmette. Since day one of this container port possibility, he's just been on a rampage. If he's at Rocky and Carlos, he's telling people, no port, no container port. You know, I had on that Ryan Randall, a councilman from St. Bernard, about a month ago. Man, it's crazy. I don't want a clean container terminal, but if one of the refineries wanted to expand, you'd be all over it. Yeah, we just had the refinery expand. I'm like, wow, so telling. I mean, just St. Bernard, lack of leadership. Come on. Sidney Torres III, this nearly 80-year-old guy, he may represent St. Bernard because he's a St. Bernard person, but it's selfish. It's selfish. It doesn't mean it's the right thing. I mean, I know a bunch of people that were on that Miro board. You know, the Miro estate controlling the $250 million. Sidney Torres, I think, was on that, the third, at one time. They let the LeBeau plantation burn down. The parish isn't getting the money out of the $250 million Miro estate that Joe Miro envisioned. No, a bunch of vultures surrounding that estate. So not all these vocal St. Bernard people, Mr. Chalmette, man, he's Mr. Araby, he's been here forever, knows the parish, been here his whole life. They're not all honorable, good men like my dad's cousin, Fred Segure, who the Civic Center's named after. He was an honest, good man, honorable, not crooked, not into gimmicks, not into politics. No, Sidney Torres III bashing this clean port project for St. Bernard since day one. No, it's just selfish. Looking at it from strictly his angle only and no other angle at all. Not the rest of the parish, not the rest of the citizens, his angle only. No, it's sad. It's a problem in Metro New Orleans. Where projects, I mean, think how many things have been stifled because of the needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many. I mean, the biggest might be Walt Disney World. Walt Disney building wanted something outside of Disneyland in Anaheim, California, wanted something, on the Mississippi River or east of the Mississippi River. Narrowed it down to Metro New Orleans, the North Shore of New Orleans, and Orlando, Florida, this little town with a bunch of, citrus groves. And that was late 50s, early 60s, was using shell companies to acquire land, both on the North Shore and or in Orlando, slowly acquiring land, and then was going to speed it up when he obviously decided where he was going to do it. And then the talk from people that knew Walt Disney, he said, man, every time I go to New Orleans and Louisiana, they're asking me what I can give them. They've got a handout. Every time I go to Orlando and Florida, they're asking me what they can give me. What do I need? This will never end. I'm going to Orlando. No, so the political corruption, the environment of politics in the late 50s and 60s in New Orleans and Louisiana drove Walt Disney away. The needs of the few outweighing the needs of the many. No bueno.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Lamb chop and shish kebab, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. I'm talking about Lebanon's Cafe. They're open till 9:30. You can't go wrong at Lebanon's Cafe. Big portions, authentic, fresh, priced right. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. It is a wide open Wednesday, and it is a scorcher out there. 92, 93 degrees, feels like 100. Stay hydrated, lots of agua, water, H2O. Get on it. Speaking of getting on it, my goodness, last hour, 4 o'clock hour, around 4:20, I had Billy Nungesser on. Around 4:30, which would be about 25 minutes into our YouTube feed. In about 25 minutes, a little after 6 o'clock, you can go to my YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson, and check out the podcast. Go about 25 minutes into the feed. I had Billy Nungesser on. Now, the whole interview is about 15 minutes into the feed. But the final couple of minutes of this 10, 12 minutes I spent with Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, I asked him about the French Quarter contract. And I just said what I thought. I think the right thing to do is Ivy Waste finish the emergency deal through December. And then in a few months, like August, September, October at the latest, you rebid, or not rebid, have a bid process for January of 26 on. But for some reason, the mayor wants to is about to cancel the IV contract months early, 5 months early. It'll end at the end of next month, July 31st. And August 1st, Henry Consulting takes over, and it's 8 years, $73 million. No guarantees he's going to do the type of work that IV Waste is doing. If Henry says he is, it's not on paper. What keeps him from reneging on that 2, 3, 4 years from now, if times get tough, whatever. So the simple thing is, I mean, just knowing all the facts, none of this is opinion, it's facts. The contract was awarded to Henry Consulting. They were subbing out the work to Richard's Disposal. Richard's Disposal and Henry Consulting had a public feud. They are physically suing each other, literally suing each other. The city council's like, man, we're coming up on the new year. Supposed to be picking up trash in 4, 5, 6 weeks. We've got to have an emergency, contract. And then Henry Consulting goes, hey, I've got a new sub. It's ServPro, another waste provider like Richards. But they're not another waste provider like Richards. They're more like Troy Henry. They sub it out to another waste provider. So Troy Henry was going to bring in ServPro. So he's subbing it out to ServPro, and they're going to sub it out to someone else. Just crazy. So the council gets IV Waste, puts out an emergency bid. IV Waste wins it. It's for January through December. Earlier this year, I don't know when it was, February, March, April, Troy Henry and Richards got their you-know-what together. The dispute was over with. They worked it out. Troy Henry's like, I'm ready to go. And the mayor, instead of saying, okay, you won the contract, but you essentially lost it because you didn't have your you-know-what together. You and your sub were suing each other. You weren't ready to go for January 1st. We had to put out an emergency contract. It expires in December. If you'd like to bid on the future contract, which would start in January of 26, not that far away, 6 months away, you're welcome to bid on that. That's the fair way to go. And here's the number one thing. It's what's best for the citizens of New Orleans. What's best for us? Where are we served best? We're served best by IV Waste finishing up their contract through December, and Troy Henry and IV Waste if they want, River Parish Disposal if they want, ServPro, Richards, Metro, any of them can bid on the future contract, or none of them can bid on the future contract. But the point is, it's what's best for the city, and you're enhancing the contract. You're like, we want this IV Waste level of clean. They could do it, and at the price we wanted, blah, blah, blah. So it's about the citizens first, not LaToya Cantrell or Troy Henry. Anyway, I asked Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser about the French Quarter trash contract, and he just lit up those two. On Troy Henry, he's like, why is the city having Troy Henry pick up trash when he doesn't own a trash company or any trucks? Why does Troy Henry have the janitorial contract at the airport when he doesn't own a janitorial firm? Why is he developing Six Flags when he's not a developer? I mean, just Billy made some interesting points. In New Orleans and Louisiana, a lot of municipalities and states, you can win a contract when you're not in that business and you sub it out to someone else. That's what Troy Henry does. That's kind of what he does. That's his business model. Mostly public funds and subbing the work out to someone else. I would imagine there are some cities or states where only people in that business can win the contract. But that's not the case in New Orleans and Louisiana. There are a lot of examples of that. Are you kidding? Black, white, all kind of folks. All kind of folks. I would say mostly white folks in Louisiana. I mean, there are people literally today, families in Louisiana that get a paycheck from the state every month on some like oil thing that isn't producing any oil, has not made any money in decades, that Huey Long signed the contract with these people's like great-great-grandparents, and they're still getting money from the state, providing the state with nothing. Instead of the state, here's a settlement, we're going to end that, or sue us, or whatever. It just goes on and on and on. So no, there's a lot of people, mostly white, on the political take on this state, either directly or indirectly. No, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. We all suffer. We all pay for that. Anyway, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser ripping Troy Henry like, has all these contracts, but doesn't have, any of the companies, has to sub it out. What is it? His, connection to Oliver Thomas, the mayor, and then he goes off on the mayor. Always out of town. Why is she interfering in this trash contract? On and on and on. You got people in the quarter businesses and residents that like it. I mean, let it go till December, till when it's finished. And then maybe IV Waste continues. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't win the new bid. But that's the fair thing to do. That's where it's fair and you're looking out for the citizens. Right now, it's like the mayor's looking out for Troy Henry, and that's it. Not looking out for the citizens, not doing what's fair, not doing what's best for the citizens, the city of New Orleans, doing what's best for Troy Henry and the mayor. Now, I'm going to get Troy Henry on the program soon. I have no problem getting him on. I get along with Troy Henry just fine. And I don't have the, I think Billy Nungesser brings up a good point, but that's not how it is. A sub, a person can win a contract and sub it out. So until the laws change, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with Billy Nungesser, but also I'm like, there's a lot of that in Louisiana. There's a lot of that around the country. Hey, Helm Paint and Decorating, not a lot of places like Helm around the country. A few places, Dallas, Texas, Texas Paint, that's owned by the Helm family of New Orleans. Helm Paint and Decorating owns Texas Paint of the Dallas Metroplex, where there are 15 locations. But I'm here to tell you about Helm Paint and Decorating in New Orleans for over 55 years. 7 locations, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. And paint ain't paint. That's why you say no to the big box store. You say no to the national chain store. You say yes to Helm Paint and Decorating. You say yes to Benjamin Moore. Best paint on the planet, the inventors of color paint. Yes, 7 locations in Metro New Orleans and 4 locations in Metro Baton Rouge. Plus, free 2-hour delivery so you or your crew can keep working. Helm Paint and Decorating. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating. Yeah, in about 15 minutes, a little after 6 o'clock, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe to it. It doesn't cost anything. Go about 25 minutes into today's program and the tail end of Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser joining us on the program. I asked him about IV Waste and the French Quarter trash contract, and he just went off on Troy Henry and went off on LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell, a.k.a. Junket Cantrell. Pretty interesting stuff. You'll want to check it out. An 18-wheeler last night catching fire on the spillway, I-10 eastbound, coming into New Orleans, coming into Kenner, Metairie. Right before I-310, too, where it kind of widens a little bit. So on the 2-lane part, literally caught fire. Took 14 hours to clear that 18-wheeler off the spillway in between Laplace and Kenner. They cleared it about 11:30 this morning. So 1 lane, needless to say, the morning commute was harsh. Coming in from Laplace to Kenner on the spillway. No, the morning commute was brutal. This is just crazy. This isn't what we want, right? An Iranian woman who has lived in New Orleans for 47 years, married to a local man. They have a daughter. Arrested outside of her Lakeview house while she was gardening. Sent to Hancock County jail in Mississippi and spent the night there. And then now she's in Belize, Louisiana at that prison that's holding a lot of folks from around the country that are illegals or migrants or whatever. 47 years in New Orleans, arrested outside of her Lakeview home where her husband and daughter were. And now she could be deported to Iran. I mean, it's just crazy. There's a bunch of Hyper right-wing Iowa folks, they're bummed out. I don't know the waitress's name. Call her Brenda. Call her Lucy. Call her Maria. Call her whatever you want. She's a Latina. She'd been in this town for decades, married to someone local, has kids, works at the cafe, is beloved. ICE raid snags her and deports her. Or she's in a jail somewhere down in Louisiana or Texas. Just crazy. Crazy. That's not, those folks are like, that isn't what we signed up for. Illegals that are criminals, let's get them out of the country. I mean, you go raid Delta Downs in Vinton last week. Delta Downs racetrack. You arrest 84. 2 of the 84 have a criminal record. How about going after the 2 with the criminal record and leaving the other 84 alone? All you're going to do is devastate Delta Downs. I'd love to hear what's happening about them. Are they going out of business for the season? And what about the little town of Vinton? How much of an economic impact in a negative way is that causing that town? No, that arrest caused the horse racing industry nationwide to fill their diapers.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon. Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Yummy.
A New Orleans tradition for over 40 years.
I like
serving the
Trey Yen.
finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine.
I like Tong Cho sauce.
Open Tuesday
Trey
through
Yen.
Sunday. Trey Yen.
Yep. Can't go wrong at Trey Yen in Mandeville. I was right across the street from Trey Yen in Mandeville. I was at Gallagher's 527 for lunch today with a buddy of mine. Started out with the seafood gumbo, outstanding. Had a 3-course meal. Then it was an appetizer of the crab meat St. Francis, jumbo lump crab meat, just in this little, what do you call that? A little ramekin.
Just absolutely, put some lemon on it, just outstanding. And then I got the shish kebab, 4 big chunks of filet with peppers and onions on a skewer, sizzling in butter with green beans. So good. Gallagher's 527, one of the best restaurants in Metro New Orleans. I love to eat. I love Clancy's in Uptown. I like Le Petit Grocery. I love Irene's in the Quarter. I love Bayona in the Quarter. I love Brightson's. Love Brightson's. There's so many great restaurants that are in New Orleans. Just fantastic. Some of you might think this is blasphemy. I'm just going to tell it like it is. I love Houston's. Houston's on St. Charles Avenue. I'd put in the top 15 or 20 best restaurants in the city. And I know it's a chain. They're like 30 Houston's around the country. I know. But Houston's is consistent as hell. It's super high quality, and it's really, really good. So now I love a lot of the great restaurants in the city. Love them. Pat Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville is one of the great restaurants in this city. And if you live on the South Shore, I promise you, you will not be disappointed in any dish. All are super high quality, and the consistency is off the charts. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Just like Treyen, there's no driving across on the North Shore. Right when you cross that causeway from the South Shore, Treyen immediately on your left, Gallagher's 527 immediately on your right. Easy to get to. You North Shore folks know where, at the foot of the causeway in Mandeville. No, so damn good. The gumbo, the crab meat, St. Francis, and the shish kebab with the green beans. Sizzling in butter. Wow. So many great dishes. That casserole, the sweet potato casserole with the brown sugar, the seafood merlaton, these are sides, like you get them for the table. Shrimp, crab meat, and crawfish. The seafood merlaton at Gallagher's 527, tremendous. The bacon-wrapped shrimp, the bacon-wrapped oysters with the Meunier sauce, the crab cakes. I mentioned the seafood gumbo, the turtle soup, lamb chops sizzling in butter like the petite filet or the regular size filet or the black Angus ribeye or the prime New York strip. Yeah, those lamb chops just sizzling in butter. And yeah, pompano redfish tuna, gulffish amandine. It's usually drum or speckled trout. Pecan crusted catfish Meunier, scallops. Everything on the menu, incredible. Chef-driven delicacies in Mandeville, right off the causeway, right near the causeway for you North Shore folks. It is special, and it's so damn good. It's not good. It's not very good. It's excellent. It's Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Yeah, a new sponsor of the program, a new client, a new advertiser of the Neutral Ground with me. Glad to have them on board. You know what? I'm lucky. I get to hype the best. Every client, every advertiser I talk about, the absolute best at what they do in Metro New Orleans in the region, the best at what they do. No, I'm lucky. I've been doing this a while. I've got a good, solid audience. You folks respond when I'm talking about these folks, apparently, and have been for decades. And no, I'm lucky. My rep's on the line. You may disagree with the political take I have or the city or the state or whatever, but when I'm talking about these clients, these advertisers, it's kind of universal. They're the best at what they do. And it makes it easy to talk about the best. I mean, are you kidding me? Makes it real easy. I'm lucky. I get to pick and choose, and I get to talk about the best. Hey, coming up in a couple of minutes, it'll be 6 o'clock. You can go to our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe. We're live right now on it, but at 6 o'clock, it kind of reverts to a podcast. So you can click on today's show, go about 25 minutes into it. It'll be the tail end of Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser interview. He joined us in the 4 o'clock hour around 4:20. That's about 15 minutes into the podcast. About 20 in, like the last 2 minutes, I even told him, like, Billy, got about 40 seconds left, something like that. I'm like, the trash contract in the French Quarter. He just goes off on Troy Henry. Why does he have a trash contract when he doesn't have a trash company? Why has he got the janitorial contract at the airport when he doesn't have a janitorial company? Why has he got the Six Flags contract when he's not a developer? I mean, just went off on Troy Henry. And then just slides right over into the mayor and rips the mayor, proceeds to rip the mayor. No, agree or disagree, and I don't know how many definitely would disagree with the mayor thing. You know, the Troy Henry thing, he's saying, why a sub? Why not the contract award winner is in that business? It's a good point, but worth listening to. Good radio, good television, good YouTube stuff. Yeah, Billy Nungesser. Check it out. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. In a couple of minutes, you'll be able to click on that and go about 25 minutes in and check out what Billy Nungesser said about Troy Henry and especially about the mayor, just ripping the mayor. It's hysterical. Hey, 7 o'clock tonight, coming up in a little over an hour, the National Basketball Association Draft, NBA Draft. The Pels select 7th overall and 23rd overall. Will they pair those two picks together and move up in the draft? Will they stay where they are at 7 and 23? Yesterday, they traded fan favorite C.J. McCollum. He's gone. Joe Dumars is in control. It's Joe Dumars, the former Piston executive, former NBA executive, now Pelicans executive. It's his first Pelicans NBA draft. Yeah, coming up tonight, I'm assuming on ESPN at 7. Again, the Pels select 7th and 23rd overall. Hey, every day this program on radio, on television, on YouTube, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex, home of Lamarck Ford, the big store for over 45 years, home of the #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. If you're looking for a Ford or a Lincoln vehicle, one of those plush black label Lincoln SUVs, unreal, or like a Ford F-150 or an Explorer or a Mustang, why would you go anywhere else but Lamarck Ford, the big store in Kenner? Every day this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway in Elmwood. Blue Boys saying thank you so much for watching and listening. See you tomorrow, straight up 4 o'clock, a Thursday edition of the program. Mañana.
You're on the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.